the summertime period, is looked upon as a time to celebrate. And it's looked upon as a time where you have more light. And so things can be revealed. Mm-hmm. When the symbolism of when things are lit up, you can see the things that were covered by darkness. Mm-hmm. And, it's basically a time, like we said earlier, to reassess, reevaluate so that you can move forward. Uvalde, all of these mass shootings, the people up in Buffalo, I even think about, the people that were in South Carolina, the 9 people that died. Mm-hmm. This whole thing, and then COVID, some of us lost some people, lost some family, some friends. And so all of this is a trauma that has never been dealt with. I always say that Black people are the only people that never had a chance to sit on the couch, to talk about our stuff, to discuss it. We've always been in a somewhat a crisis situation. We got emancipated. We just talked about Juneteenth. We got emancipated, went through Reconstruction, and then went through Jim Crow, desegregation. It's like, have we really ever had a chance to take a deep breath, to celebrate? So this summer solstice it symbolizes a celebration, and it also symbolizes the midway point, the time that you can look back at your goals, the things you want to manifest, you want to see for yourself.
We got the cure, we got the answer to what's happening in society. We got the power to solutions and provide the healing that you need. We got the cure, we got the answer with discussions that will set you free. This is the Ark Republic, and you're listening to The Remedy. The Remedy. The Remedy.
Greetings wherever you are situated in the universe. What up? My name is Kaya Niambi Shivers. Oh my goodness. Welcome to another edition, The Remedy. We haven't had Remedy podcast in a long time, and Lord knows we need it. And it's so good that I am speaking with who I call the Ark Republic spiritualist, Baba A. Todd Jackson, who is an Ifa priest, and also he is a pastor, or do I say reverend? I'm bad with the titles with the black touch.
We good. Okay, you good.
We good. He's a man of the cloth. But no, what up, Baba Todd? How you doing?
Good to be here. Good to see you again.
Thank you. It is so, I think, important for people to see how approachable people are who are on that spiritual path. I think often we give so much authority and power to folk, and just don't realize or forget that they're human, right? Yeah. So I'm thank you for sharing these very, I would say, informal, candid conversations and moments with the public. So let's get down to it. Summer solstice is amongst us. Summer solstice is amongst us, and what we try to do with you is to, at the very least, during the solstices and the equinoxes, we try to have a conversation about spiritually, what does this mean? So summer solstice is it June 21st or June 20th?
June 21st, yes.
So it's June 20th. It's June 21st. What is the summer solstice? Can you explain what that is?
The summer solstice is the longest time of the day. It is when the axis is tilted on the earth, which happens 4 times a year. Summer solstice, winter solstice, vernal equinox, and the other equinox escaped my mind.
Winter,
vernal,
fall, the vernal
fall
spring.
Equinox.
It's spring. Okay.
Yeah, spring and fall.
Well, does vernal mean fall or does it mean spring?
Vernal is spring.
Okay, gotcha.
I think.
All right.
You're gonna make me go back and study.
Vernal and autumn equinox. Okay.
Yeah. So, so it is where the earth, there's more day than any other time. It's the longest day. It's the longest day in the calendar year. And it is a time to me where the sun stands still. And to me, all of that is symbolic because this is the middle time of the year. This is the halfway point of the year.
Mhm.
And it also is a time to reassess. You know, when I look at that saying the sun stood still and it tilted on its axis, it's almost like, what does that say to us? What is my position? It's
Mhm.
you looking back the last 6 months to reassess what you did, where you are, what did you accomplish, what you didn't accomplish, not to beat yourself up, and to reaffirm your goals, your purpose for the next 6 months. You know, I like to tell people to gauge yourself. This is our gauge, the middle of the year. And the summer solstice, I know a lot of us have, a lot of time we've got a lot of spooky stuff about it's pagan, it's Wiccan. But you know, however you look at it, times and seasons are good for us to gauge ourselves. You know, if you need scripture, Genesis 1 and 14, talking about let this be for signs and symbols. You know, Ecclesiastes 3, 1 through 8 talks about there's always a time, there's a season for everything. A time to die, time to be born, a time to kill, a time to heal. And this is our time right here at the summer solstice, which is the perfect time to basically just reassess, to look over things.
Yeah, you know, when people say that it's Wicca, I say, do you say that to the farmer who grows your food? Because farmers use the solstices and the equinoxes and the weather and the celestial bodies in order to determine when to plant, where to plant, how to plant. So it behooves me at this point. But what in my opinion we're in, there's this thing, there's this term, forgot the name of it, but it's information overload. And so it's this idea that we have, over training, learning, living, we have developed a filter, a personal filter, in information that comes to us. Okay, this is good information, I can use it. This is helpful, or this is information I don't need, it's harmful. But in information overload, you have so much coming at you. The filter that you have created is not effective. And so the bad information begins to leak into this thing of what you consider good or helpful information. And maybe perhaps it's this information overload, that's going on, or there's a response to people awakening now. But using this to there's just a sentiment, and maybe I'm hypersensitive to it, maybe I'm exaggerating, but there's this backlash now that I see emerging that is beginning to go back to these very I would say, I was going to say Bible thumping, these Bible thumping, because it's not just Christianity, you know what I'm saying, but these zealots, these very fanatical thinkings across the religious spiritual spectrum. Let me say this, because I've seen some really weirdo, goofy, like, what are you saying type of stuff, even in the stuff that, I'm in tune with. So I'm glad that you said that. We've had a rough 2.5 years, Baba Todd.
Yeah.
We have had a rough, and in our conversation about what we were going to talk about the summer solstice, remember, it was right on the heels. Was it the Uvalde mass shooting, or was it the Buffalo?
Uvalde, yeah.
And you had some ideas around that. How does this, what we do in summer solstice, kind of, gives us perspective in terms of those tragedies?
Summer solstice, the summertime period, is looked upon as a time to celebrate. And it's looked upon as a time where you have more light. And so things can be revealed. When the symbolism of when things are lit up, you can see the things that were covered by darkness. And, it's basically a time, like we said earlier, to reassess, reevaluate, so that you can move forward. Uvalde, all of these mass shootings, the people up in Buffalo, I even think about, the people that were in South Carolina, the 9 people that died. This whole thing, and then COVID, some of us lost some people, lost some family, some friends. And so all of this is a trauma that has never been dealt with. You know, I always say that Black people are the only people that never had a chance to sit on the couch, to talk about our stuff, to discuss it. We've always been in a somewhat a crisis situation. You know, we got emancipated. You know, we just talked about Juneteenth. We got emancipated, went through Reconstruction, and then went through Jim Crow, desegregation. It's like, have we really ever had a chance to take a deep breath, you know, to celebrate? So this summer solstice celebrate, it symbolizes a celebration, and it also symbolizes the midway point, the time that you can look back at your goals, the things you want to manifest, you want to see for yourself. What does all this say to me? And I know a lot of people try to look at group dynamics, but I always like to say, what does this mean to me? What does this say to me? What is this speaking to me? What is my journey in this? What is my assignment? And that's what I think everybody should, if you can, stay tuned to that.
And one of the things that you said, in addition to what you mentioned, is this ability to be still. Why is it important to be still?
Being still, and I'm gonna give you another scripture. I love the scriptures. I love the Bible. Psalms 46.
I just said Bible thumpy too. Wait, I'm sorry. Are you a Bible thumper? Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bible time.
Psalms 46:10. Be still and know that I'm God. The metaphysical, esoterical perspective of that scripture is to be able to slow your mind down so you can hear the God inside of you speak. So you can hear your intuition. Because when you're always moving around, and it also speaks to some type of meditation. The summer solstice, it says that the sun stands still. So symbolically, you know, that's talking about you need to get still somewhere too. You know, I tell people you need to tithe 15 minutes a day to yourself. And that is just somewhere being still, being quiet through meditating. You know, that's the most powerful thing we can do in our healing process, is to get somewhere quiet, somewhere still, gather your thoughts. And you know, a little something, I'm gonna put a disclaimer. Ain't no demons gonna come in if you meditate, y'all. You know, so get somewhere, get your thoughts together. What is it you want to see for yourself? This is the thing to meditate on. This is the thing to call forth. You know, visualize what is it that I want for me, my children, my family. So yeah, that's a part of the reaffirming as we go ahead.
You know, in this stillness, there was so much that ran through my head. So, you know, right before this was coming down the line, Rolanda and I, we used to talk about this a lot. In 2019, I just had a feeling, just a revelation or something. And I said, ooh, it's about to get bad, Rolanda. It's about to get real bad, Rolanda. She's like, yeah, you know, I said, no, it's about to get real bad. And then we got mollywopped. We talked about this, you know, before, but there are people who have been searching and seeking for answers. And a lot of people, frankly, have gotten burned in all facets of religious and spiritual systems. You hear the scandals coming out every other day. Pastor so-and-so was busted, you know, Baba Boo 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 was, you know, in a scandal and all this other stuff. How do we use this time if we've gone through a very uncomfortable or messed up experience in our spiritual religious journey? How do we use this time to heal, reflect? What do we do now?
Get somewhere, like we say, still, and begin to ask those questions. The most powerful thing is for an individual to know their purpose, to know what they're here to do, to know what that assignment. Now that's difficult for a lot of people because
by the time we tell you, keep saying it, but we need more. You know what I'm saying? On my end, I know there's more going on, but on my end, I keep hearing the same thing, right? So what are the questions other than, well, what's my purpose? What do I need to do? We need some gutter butter questions.
You know, what is the thing And it's like, just like we having a conversation now,
Right.
in that quiet time, that sacred space, that before you go into the meditation, ask the question, you know, what is it that I can do that'll bring me fulfillment?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that I can do that I'm gonna love doing, and that's gonna help me and my family, my children? You know, it sounds simple, but that's the beginning of the process.
But how do you heal if somebody violated you?
Oh,
Right.
okay.
I'm talking about how when you get violated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you trusted your spiritual self to be guided, and you know you get done over in a myriad of ways. We've heard a lot of stories about that, from sexual to financial to psychological to emotional.
You know, sometimes, you know, I see situations. It's difficult when that person, you see that person every day or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or you know, if that person is gone, how do you deal with it? It's difficult. I say, if you have somebody within your family or somebody close to you trust, that you can discuss it and talk it through, then that's great. But if you don't, you just gonna have to, you know, ask for the healing to come. And to me, I know that sounds, oh, well, you know, Baba Tar, you just you know, pie in the sky, but it's a powerful thing when you begin to ask for healing in sacred space.
Well, I think also, Baba Todd, in that, in asking for healing, it's also about you even kind of thinking about what that looks like and feels like for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can ask for it all day and want it and desire it, but I think part of it is that I know that I am either moving towards it or I'm actively in it when I am thinking or doing or feeling or something. For me, I think that's very important. I think it's even necessary now, because I think we've so mysticized the process of spiritual elevation, in like I said, all across the board, that we've left out the rituals, like we talk about, that we do, or that we can do, in order to kind of center us to get to answering the questions around purpose.
Okay. Now you're making me go right. Yeah, ritual is the beginning process of healing. And if that is you walking on the beach, standing with your ankle deep in the water, and asking for, I go back again, asking that question, you know, bring somebody to me that can help me, or lead me to the people that can help me. If a grandmother's passed, and the memory of someone that was the healer in the family, someone that kept the family grounded, you know, me, a big mama, you know, I'm trying to get this, I'm trying to get such and such, you know, speak to me. So I believe that water is the key ingredient in your healing process.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in your shower or in your tub, that is the perfect time to begin to ask your questions, to have your meditation process. Because, you know, what is water? You know, when we look at what the Yoruba people say about the ocean, you know, there's been studies that if you walk along the beach of the ocean, your people's high blood pressure goes down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same thing as the cleansing of water, a shower. You know, we look at now people using herbs. You know, I tell people, if you got a lot of things you want to clear your mind, take your bath and put some hyssop in there.
Mm-hmm.
Put some lavender in the tub, in the water, and then just express yourself, and then get quiet. Say, you know, ask what you want. If it's healing, if whatever the case may be, if it's relationship, a job, man, you know, manifesting some money, get in there and ask for it. And then get still and listen to the instructions. Listen to your intuition. Listen to what Big Mama and them used to tell you. Listen to your gut, because your gut will never lead you wrong. And see, some of the cases and situations we find ourselves in, Kaya, Did you listen to that voice that told you don't go over there? Did you listen to that voice or that instruction that say, don't mess with them? Did you pay attention to that dream? Did you pay attention to that feeling, that ucky feeling you had when you were getting ready to participate in something you shouldn't? Or that job that you took that the spirit world was trying to guide you, don't go there. But you went over there and now you stuck over there 10 years and you ain't happy. So
right, yeah, or that voice that says, "Run, leave now. Here's your window of opportunity."
Yeah,
right,
when y'all sitting there at McDonald's, you and him, and he look good, she look good, and they say something that makes you go, "Ooh." That's when you're not supposed to see them no more.
Exactly.
So, our spirit speaks to us. You're not out there. You're not out there on the island all by yourself with no weapons. But unfortunately, we haven't been shown how to use our intuition. Or trust ourselves. So right. And that's what this society does. This society puts you in a position where you don't feel comfortable enough in trusting yourself and trusting your spiritual, that voice, like in E5, we say the Ori, your destiny of knowing who you are. And that's where the problem lies.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. My son is visiting right now, and he and I and my husband, we were in this really great conversation, and we were talking about like who you listen to in order to make sense of the world. And so we got into this part of the talk that said, be mindful, even if this person is inspiring you or you see them as giving you food for thought, also be very critical as to who they are, where this information is coming from, and what are they doing with this power or this prestige or this platform. Because often what they're saying to you and what they're doing on the other side don't equate.
Yeah.
And you can't divorce it. It's there's I don't know if this makes sense, right? But he was kind of making the case of, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? And so but we were just talking about now more than ever. And I wish I had this when I was coming into my own and trying to find out before I got burned and thrown to the side of the road. I know you have too, Baba Todd.
Yeah.
Pockets all empty. Is it is okay to question even those who you respect. And often it starts with that gut feeling that you're talking about, or something that they say, and you're like, "Ooh, that it don't feel right," or "that doesn't even align with my constitution," or like, "I don't know about that. That's kind of wild." When you begin to, you have to pause for your cause.
Yeah.
And think about that. So I'm sorry, Baba Tom. Go ahead.
No, I and being, how can I say it? Being true to yourself. When you understand your purpose, and I know we throw that around a lot, your purpose, your assignment, but when you know what you're here to do and you stand on that, now there's a lot of people got problems with me, Kaya. How can you be in the church? How can you be over here in African spirituality? You're dibbling and dabbling. Hey, it works for me. I understand spirituality and not religion. I understand what our people, the transition that they made from the Christianity that they were practicing, not what they got now. The decolonization of spirit, of Christianity, of the church, of the Bible. And I said all that to say, because that's what I've been accused of being. Are you being true to what this side over here says, or what I'm being true to what the spirit has told me to do. And you can check my record I tell everybody, check my record. Have I ever been in a place where I've been out of integrity with you or with anybody? Can anybody else say that? So, check these folks. Check these folks. They say they such and such. It's nothing wrong with checking them. I tell people to check me. You can Google me. I don't know how much you're gonna find, but yeah, if that's what you need, Google me. If that makes you feel better. And then I also say, Kaya, I'm not for everybody.
Right.
And I'm good with that. And I pray, brother, sister, you move on and find somebody that can help you. I'll probably help you try to find that individual. But it's about being true to yourself and what you're here to do, and what you really want. I think deep down we all know that, Kaya. But as again, we went back to our conversation earlier, it's about standing still and getting still in order to be able to hear those things and put those things together.
No, you know what? I mean, even evergreen trees have seasons. So, so people who you've known for a long time or you've been around for a long time, relationships ebb and flow and they change, right? And I do believe that most people that you meet are there for a season, and it does have some level of validation. You need to understand exactly what that is. But I think this is really important, especially for the young folk or people who, I used to see this a lot in my early 20s. Like my father he introduced, no, did he? Maybe so. I'm going to credit him, but he introduced me to the lecture circuit.
Okay.
Ajwa Kwesi and I'm trying to think of all these people who would come. I even saw before she died, she does the Melvin Farmer, who's her, Isis Papers, Frances Cress Welsing.
Yeah.
And then Asa G. Hilliard. So, and then, I go to college, I come back, I'm still going to the lecture circuit. It was there. And when we were there, my father and I would be in constant conversation about what we heard. And we would even, talk about what it meant and how do you apply it and how does it make sense to you? All the information presented, like I can tell somebody, this is how I see the information, I perceive it, and my perspective about things. It is not for you to take wholesale and it be yours right and exact. And so I think, and I think we used, I don't know how many people used to do it, but it definitely happened in several homes I know, how we used to criticize media, we would go on. And so we have to get into the space of being okay to be critical towards things and like throw away these I would say very low base practices of, oh, you're being a hater, or whatever these defense mechanisms that are used.
Yeah. It's we just have to we have to almost just separate ourselves from the noise. And we go back again to get into a place, a position of being able to hear yourself. And I don't think we do enough of that. Meditation is vital every day. However, I don't want to get into the ins and outs of how you meditate, but you need to get still, and you need to get somewhere in nature. Need to sometimes get out of the house, get out of the building, let the sun hit you in the face. You'll be surprised what that does do for you on a regular basis. If it's going to the park and walking, and that's another thing. We gotta watch our health. We gotta watch what we eat, what we drink. We're getting enough water. All that is part of the healing process. What you eat, what you think, and how you moving? Feel. Yeah. So it's all important, very important.
Yeah. So I wanted to. It's so funny you talked about we need to watch what we eat. Did a talk and I was talking with the farmer and he said, I don't know what everybody else is thinking, but the food crisis is here. It's not pending, It's not about to come, but it is here. So on this whole conversation of summer solstice, getting your food and your health together, what are some insight and understanding, how do we move through these coming crises? Excuse me.
I think the sense of family and community, it has to really is very important. Just having a family garden in itself is good, and then having more communication with family and community. I call it collective economics, but and it's collective food source, collective resourcing. What you have, just for instance, food. If you're growing tomatoes, and I need to be growing some greens over there. If you're growing greens, I need to be growing cucumbers. And then getting back to studying and looking at what we're doing as far as financially. Do we, and this is hard. I know everybody wants their own, but should we become roommates for a while to get over this crisis? If you over there struggling on the other side of town, I'm over here struggling on the side of town. What kind of sense does that make? So we got to get back to the sense of community. How can I help myself and help you? How can we help each other together? Because see, the long ranger mentality is killing us. It really, it's never worked for nobody. And that's something we got to get out of and get back to a sense of community.
Yeah, those are some really good points. There will be a lot of collective economics, whether people like it or not. I mean, it really is get with the collective or die broke and hungry.
Yeah,
that's really what it's going to be about. I don't want to take up a lot of your time. This is the summer. This is where we got to be at. And I'm saying be at and be up in the world. But is there anything like that's been heavy on you that you've been really thinking about around this time? Because each season to me brings a different energy, and it's not even specific to this season. But for me, I've just been, I was so relieved. I was in I had 3 meetings yesterday. It was crazy. First of all, I'm in 3 meetings in the summertime. Lord. But the woman said, "Oh, please forgive me. I've been having a really rough June." So several people echoed, it's been hard. And I have been just trying to put things together, and it just seems like things cannot congeal. Like I want them to. Maybe perhaps I've done it before, this way before, and it's worked, and it's not working. And something in the ether is going on. I'm not trying to blame it on an outside source, but it's just wibbly wobbly for me right now.
I think everybody's asking that. Everybody's trying to get some clarity. And the thing that I've found from my conversations is a lot of young people just want the traditional stuff, whatever it may be, the way their parents did things. They really got a lot of questions, and they are, and I don't know what that Gen Zinger, I don't know what that age group is, but I'm finding them anywhere from 18 to 30. It's a lot of stuff that's unsettling to them. My conversations and sitting down talking with them, they got a lot of questions, and they don't feel nobody's really answering them. And I don't think we can just blow them over. That generation, because that generation is gone. It's almost like they're a step away from rebellion. They already, they may be in rebellion, but a full-fledged rebellion. And I think everybody, no matter what age they are, there's a feeling of exhaustion. People are tired, mentally, spiritually, psychologically, whatever the case. Because believe it or not, COVID was rough, Kaya. I just observed it got rough on me from people looking for help, looking for answers. I had to shut it down for 2 or 3 days. I had to take me a mental break.
Yes.
I had to walk on the water. Some people were really thinking it was over. And so the residue from that is still here. It ain't gone away. And see, that's the thing we got to always remember. Just because it happened 5 years ago and you haven't dealt with it, it's you packing some of that same stuff around with
You know, and then I think because of the culture of religion, in, I'll just say here locally, because I can't really talk more about it outside of my experience, it's this savior mentality. But then when you don't save them, or when you don't deliver, like when you become, so it's one thing to help somebody and you see somebody who's in crisis. And so you extend yourself a little bit more than what you normally would do. Uh-oh. Is we okay, Baba Todd?
you. Yeah, I'm sorry, I hit the wrong button.
Oh, okay. So see that damn technology in these times. So it's like you extend yourself. I've had this, right? And then when you don't show up like you used to, and they get pissed at you. You be like, wait a minute, hold up. This time, that time, this time, it was all gravy because I was feeding you the way you felt like you should be fed. But now as I'm pulling back, because I need some grace, I need some time, and then you get pissed at me? Like, yeah. So I think also in this shift that we're going through, we also need to even perhaps be mindful of our relationships.
Yeah.
And how we must change with them and it's the clear exactly what they are. Like, this has become a parasitic relationship. Or, oh, this is a relationship that I could really build from. Oh, in order for me to build on this relationship, I got to let this relationship go.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, that's all a part of understanding who you are, listening to that voice inside of you, your intuition. Because in some cases, people, they okay with you as long as you helping them with their program. Long as you start your program, okay. And your program is being about your assignment, about who you are, about the things that are fulfilling for you. Yeah, everybody got a problem now. You ain't carrying my bags. You know, they want you to carry your bags and their bags, and they happy. And to me, that's when to me, spirit world helps you to identify that. Then you know this is a selfish, narcissistic individual. Don't really give a damn about you. And sometimes you have to be thankful for that moment when it happens, so that it's now time to move on and go in a different direction. And and when we ask for things, let your prayer, your affirmations, your meditations be about people around you that can build you up. Not saying you're relying on anybody, but it's always good to have some team. The only sport I know by itself is golf. Every other sport is a team.
Well, you
football,
still need the
basketball,
person to carry the thing, right?
Well, yeah, okay. Hey, you're right. So, you ain't out there. Okay, good point. You ain't out there by yourself, man. So it's good to have people that can help you, support you, or compliment you and help you what you do. But something you said earlier about relying on somebody to come save you, that part of spirituality where that guy sitting on the cloud gonna come down. I think that's the part of what we've been taught that has been detrimental, that we need to be decolonized from, is the great savior. God resides in you, and he's here to help you. And all you have to do is tap inside yourself.
He and she.
He and she. So whatever it takes for you to recognize to do that. Some of us have a little harder time, I understand, but you just have to ask the question and do your ritual of meditation, sitting in the water, going to the water, going in nature. Just going in nature is a basic ritual you can do to help yourself. Sit, let the sun hit you in the face.
You know what I've also told myself, and I would like your insight on this. Maybe it's time for me to try something radically new. Like, this aspect of my life is on repeat. It's not working. I want, and I'm just tired. I'm tired of it is like a hamster in that wheel. What are your thoughts on at this point in time of trying something new?
sometimes you have to relocate.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say relocate, it ain't from one side of town to the other. It may be the area, the state,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But going into this this summer solstice, this is what I would, if I was a doctor and I was writing a prescription, this is what I would write.